now, I believe. This
So
hangout is on live now.
all right.
Okay, I am here to interview John Solar for this first part of Kansas and Friends. Uh, and Russ is going to be telling me what questions you have out in the audience. And so, John, I'm going to let you take it away. Introduce yourself and have
John
at it.
Solar 283 is my YouTube channel. Uh, I do all kinds of. I'm pretty eclectic. Do reloading, solar stuff, wind technology, into firearms, refurbishing firearms. Do all sorts of editing. I produce blog talk radio shows. Probably the one I do most noted would be Ebomi's Locked and Loaded. I produce that and do the commercials and so on and so forth. That's kind of a rundown of me.
Do you what do you like to do? What's your favorite hobby out of all of that?
Oh, let's see. I'm a tool freak, so I love refurbishing tools. I have a very large wood shop, and then I have a metal fab shop on the other side of the house. So lots and lots of refurbishing of tools, and I'm pretty much I don't know. I enjoy everything. I have way too many hobbies. I got my fingers in way too much stuff.
Yeah, plate's real full then, huh?
You got it. You got
Big plate, huh? That has to be with working with Ebomi. Uh, so, yeah, what, so what's your uh, view on politics right now? What you think?
Well,
What's your views on politics?
well. I'm definitely a conservative. I have a different look on the whole liberal, conservative, all that stuff. Um, Come from a different generation where if you're a liberal, that's fine. That's fine. I don't have a thing. I don't have any issue with liberals. I don't have any issue with conservatives. What I have an issue with is the extremism. A liberal extremist is a problem. That's where all, in my mind, this is my opinion, of course. That's where you get all the, our children have to have safe spots so they don't hear words hurt. When they take everything completely out of context, where they allow people to trample on the flag, where everything goes to its absolute extreme measure, that's what I have a problem with. But it's also on both sides, as we've learned in this last run with all the Republicans moving through. We had people standing in the Republican line that were sheeps and wolves. I mean, wolves in sheep clothing. Okay, that you know, you've got people in the Republican area that are willing to say whatever it takes just to get in. And as we've learned after we had the past election, where we had everybody come in, we've got lines now, we've got the people in the right places, and what happened? Nothing. So you learn that, yeah, you kind of get stuck with the lesser of the evils, which is sad. Which is sad, but it's always been that way, and that's the way it probably always will be. Um, so, I mean, to me,
Yeah.
we've got people sitting there that are Republicans, that I think that are Republicans, that are conservative extremists, that all they want is steal more power, just like with the liberal extremists and their issues. So, I kind of come from the line of I think everybody's got something to offer as long as they're not in that extremist line, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Did you hear about uh, the IED that was found in Texas today?
No, I did not. I have not heard about that.
Yeah, they found an IED under a bridge in Texas. Two kids found it. I guess they were trying to blow up a bridge.
Well, we got wide open borders, and anybody can jump across with no questions whatsoever. So, I mean, it won't be long before we'll start seeing people from the Middle East, running across the border. ¿Cómo está? Don't look at my car. I'm fine.
I think we've already had a couple of reports of that, actually.
Yeah. That's it. Well, we've got an issue right now that, yeah, it's insanity. And there's where that whole liberal extremist thing comes in again, which is the idea that stopping people coming across the border is racism. Okay, that's not racism at all. What you're doing is you're protecting your border. I mean, the country's founded. This country's founded on people coming from everywhere. My family all comes from somewhere else. Everyone's family comes from somebody else, unless you're a Native American. All right, but there's a way it's done, and the way it's done is by a law. We welcome everybody. You just have to go through the processes. And if they're not willing to go through the processes, then that's it. My opinion is you're an illegal alien.
They definitely have been
There ought to be.
They've been inundating our youth and our culture, though, through TV, media, popular TV shows, movies. Everything I watch on television has a message. It's getting to the point where I don't even really watch television that much anymore because I'm tired of their message. I can pick it out faster and faster. Used to be I would watch a movie. Oh, that's a cool movie. I go back and I rewatch that movie now, and I'm like, wow, that had a message.
Oh yeah, just like I was infuriated. I can't think of the name of it. It had Liam Neeson in it, and he was I guess a security guard on an airplane.
Oh yeah.
And it ended up being, the 9/11 survivors became the evil ones. Yeah, they became terrorists, and the Muslims that were on the airplane were the innocents. I mean, I was like, what the?
Yeah. I watched that movie, unfortunately.
I mean, it's
only because they don't tell you that's the message going in. You go into it like, oh, this is going to be a good movie. Nope, you're going to get preached to for an hour and a half.
Yep.
And you're going to pay for it.
Yep. I don't even go to the movies anymore, period. The only ones I'll ever go to is take my little fella, go watch Angry Birds or something like that, because I don't think quite got any messages in there yet.
Well, I thought the same thing. It was a few years back, and the Muppet movie, it was the first Muppet movie that had come out in a long time. And I was like, you know what? I love the Muppet movies when I was a kid. I want to take my daughter to see the Muppet movie. Wow, was that anti-big business, anti-oil, big oil, all about the environment, freaking big business fired Kermit the Frog. It was an hour and a half of a message for kids.
Yeah, well, that became changed a while back. The Muppets and Sesame Street has gone down. I mean, all that stuff's gone down.
Jim has died. A lot of stuff died with him.
Oh yes, yeah. It's been taken over now. I mean, just like look at PBS. I used to freaking adore, and I know there's probably people out there going snore, but I used to adore PBS because it was an innocence. It was a show about an eagle, or it was a show about this, or it was a show about that. And it was just that. Nobody was trying to jam anything down my throat. But now I can't watch anything without somebody giving me a speech on, climate change. And you just sit back and you scratch your head and you wonder, did anybody know that the climate's been changing since the caveman? Did anybody bother to think about this? I mean, if you stop and realize there were variances back in the early 1800s. We didn't have mass production back then. We didn't have all the polluting fat. We didn't have that stuff. It wasn't even there. And son of a gun, we had changes then. And they don't want to talk about that, though. That's not what's really important. I mean, they just take simple fact, and I will say simple fact, because they'll take simple facts like, all right, we've started adding more cars, which means we've added more pollutants. Okay, that is a duh moment. Yes, we have. Yeah. But then they'll give you the repercussions. All right, then they're here's the repercussions of it. And you go, well, where'd you get that evidence? That came off of, our government website, controlled by us. And thousands of it. I mean, we've got, the FDA, and we've got, CDC, and these are all your organizations. You pull the strings on them. They report as you wish. So you don't really get any good facts, and then you got wingnut quail flying around getting the Nobel Peace Prize for, I guess, I don't know, having a moment where he got a chance to pass out the information, and he became a hero. Apparently, I'm not quite sure how that even happened. That made me go, oh God. Once he got it, I was like, okay, so it's a joke too. And then Obama got it, and then I knew, it's officially a joke. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's
So,
sad.
check the internal.
So, did anybody ask any questions in there?
Well, first of all, check the internal. I left you a message. And second of all, let me look. Excuse me. We have
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Tommy Boy 9 and Mule Team 66 is in the building. No questions yet, but Mule Team's glad to see you back.
Well, I'm glad to be here, Mule. Glad to hear you're out there. Actually, you can get in here after we have a little. I figured I was going to ask you a couple more questions, but hey, come on in. Send me a link if you want.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait for a little bit. Ask your
question. What? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead if you want.
Ask your questions.
Okay. Basically, I was wondering. So, how long have you been in like this doing a producer sort of thing? How long have you
been
producing for Obomi? How long?
I started producing Blog Talk quite a while back with Newsnight with Puff and Preffer. I did some stuff for Around the Cabin, which had Rich the Ridge Hunter. And then approached Ebomi, and we decided we were going to put together the Locked and Loaded. That was about 3 years ago. We had a couple snafus, which caused some grief, some sponsor stuff, and then we were off the air. And I guess we kind of needed to grow a little bit and get a little bit more knowledgeable in the systems and how they operated, and then we relaunched again this year. So off and on for probably about 4.5 years I've been doing it, but I've been doing radio stuff for, oh my heavens, years and years and years. As a matter of fact, I lived for a long time in your neck of the woods, Kansas. I lived in Topeka. I did some voice work with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did some voice work with a very famous fella. I went to school at Landon School. I did some voice work on WREN in Topeka, Kansas, with Alf Landon, who ran for president. That's Nancy Landon Castlebaum's dad.
Cool.
He's passed now, obviously. Then I did some work. I did some work with KYYS Kansas City, KY102. I guess they're no longer KY102. It has changed. I did some work with them. It was a rock station out of Kansas City.
Did you do anything with K-Hud?
Say again?
Did you do anything with K-Hud out of
No, I did do some work with
K-Hud.
I did some work with KLWN. I did some work with them, and I did some work in Lawrence, Kansas. Some Jayhawk stuff, some promos for Jayhawks.
Okay.
But yeah, I did.
What's your favorite football team?
Oh, I'm a Patriot boy.
You're a Patriot.
Well, I was born in Maine. I was born in Maine.
So,
I will I will say that for a long time when I was living down in Kansas, I used to get a kick out of the opening there when we would go to Royal Stadium watch them lose, and then go across the street to the Chiefs and watch them lose.
Chiefs lose all the time. It's like, dang.
Well, my boys weren't
Oh
that.
yeah, they're still a team. They're still kicking and they still lose.
Yeah, my boys weren't that great when I was younger either. We used to call the Patriots the Watriots. Just wait till next year. But then finally we got our shot. And our Bruins.
Oh, the Cowboys, they went up. They were great. Now they suck.
It's pretty much always changing. It's always changing. But at least we don't have a stadium like the Minnesota Vikings. You got to see that stadium.
Really.
Oh, that thing has turned out to be a eyesore.
So you'll get on in here.
All right, I'll send him a link. Until he comes in, he actually asked a question. He asked John if you can explain some of the things you do behind the scenes for, I guess, the show for Ebomi.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's referred to as the man behind the glass. We have a board that has the sound effects on it. I have some sound effects loaded to it that I change for each show. There is it's a kind of like a picture montage that I run, so anyone who's watching the show has pictures that they can see, and I usually put up joke pictures about Ebomi and the guests. I run the chat room, which is an active chat room continually. That's on. I have a 3-screen system, so when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at you right now, but the camera's up here. But over here on the right, I have one screen that I normally will run the video link between the guests and me, so that if anything goes wrong, we have a visual for each other. We'll have that out. Then over on the right, I have one that maintains the chat room, and then I have a 52-inch right here in front of me. That's the board, and it has all the calls. As each call comes in, it'll create a box. All right, that'll have an identifying number that's coming from this area code, and it doesn't tell me who they are, but I have an opportunity real quickly, if I'm going to keep them, to put their name in there and save them. I send out all the different links to the people that are going to be on the show. We have certain people that are on all the time, but they'll remain in a mute status. Like Johnny Watson is always on, but I have to run his mics. Eric C's on all the time. I run his mics. We'll have Ebomi and then the guest, and I maintain their mic levels, and I have to tune them and stuff. And then as each caller comes in, I got to notify him that there's a caller coming in, and I've got to find out if it's Mule Team, and if it's Mule Team, then I got to go play his song for him.
And I love my song.
I think I can start watching.
Yeah, Mule and Ed USAF have their own intro music.
Well, you know what? We got to support our friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when there's dead air or things slow down, I know it's always cool to call in and bust somebody's chops.
And I always appreciate it. Always appreciate it. But yeah, it's it can get live. Some shows might be more quiet, and it's just Ebomi and the guests, and maybe Eric C's bouncing around, and it'll get quiet, and occasionally, like the last 30 minutes, it'll just light up, and I might have 10, 15 calls going, and it never ceases. That last 30 minutes becomes a wild ride.
So I have a question.
Yeah,
As somebody who does not know much about this show, is it on YouTube? Is it a podcast? What exactly? Where can people find it?
Well, my channel puts out a promo every week for it, and there's a promo on Ebomi's channel every week. Each one of them has a link to go on. It is a blog talk radio show. We are working right now to try to get something to coordinate with YouTube, because there's been a lot of requests to actually see the show going. We're working on it because we want to try to make it a little different than just a chat. We want to try to make it, interact. The big thing for me is the interactiveness. In other words, people can just call and then they're on the air. And it's that moment where you can just call real quick, and maybe we have Pete on from the Armory Channel. I've always wanted to talk to Pete. All right, we had John Huber on. Neil, you remember this? We had John Huber on from Huber Concepts, who makes all those awesome, crazy, wild breaks. He was on. People want to. Oh my God, I want to talk to him, and they get a chance to call in and they can talk to him. We had Ms. Bomey on. This Friday we have Hornet Fixer will be on. He's got a big raffle that's going on to support Major Justin Fitch. God rest his soul. He has a final mission. A lot of people have heard about that. But Hornet Fixer has built an AR-15 that's going to be raffled off, and all the proceeds are going to go to donate the final mission. Are going to go to help the final mission. We did a while back where they had his dog tags, and we did that. His dog tags. Mule, you got a set. Yep. And those were dog tags from Major Justin Fish, and it went to help with that final mission, helping the soldiers that just have got issues and the government has left behind. So that's a big thing, and that'll be this Friday. We're going to have Hornet Fixer on talking all about that. But yeah, it's the links are on those promos. You can also go to Blog Talk Radio, type in John Zoller 283 or Ebomi, and it'll take you right to the channel as well.
That's one of the reasons.
There's also usually links on Facebook and G+.
I didn't catch you there.
I said that's the reason I like him so well, because he put his money where his mouth was when it came to the bets. Put $1 million in that night.
Yep.
And he got 5 more of them to go with it.
Yep. Yep. That's one thing we got to get fixed in this. It's really, I mean, any of the vets out there know. I mean, I was fortunate enough that I was able to get off the VA here, and I just went ahead and got the separate insurance. Since I'm medically retired, we can get a special rate insurance, but it's not available everywhere. And you think it would be, but you still got to pay, but you get a lot better deal, and you don't get stuck in the whole, Togus is our VA, and they're like, yep, we'll get you set up for an appointment, and that's where it begins. Then they get an overbooking, and since you're not an emergency case, they need to push it out a little further, and then a little further, and then a little further.
Yeah, the government will keep you on a list until you're dead.
Yeah, that's basically what it'll be. And that's something that needs to come to an immediate end. And this new this new thought that's been put out is probably one of the most enraging things I've ever heard for me. I mean, stepping on the flag makes me want to slit somebody's throat. And yes, I understand. They have that right. It's their freedom. But it's also my right and my freedom to feel that way. Because to me, it's the same when you're standing on a flag as if you went to Arlington and just started whizzing on all of the graves. To me, there's no difference whatsoever at all. That's exactly what you're doing. But this
when I was in high school, I had to learn how to treat it like it was a baby, and it was the power of the flag, and that it symbolized and to have them walk on it is like something kicking you in the gut.
When you realize, like, I have a boy who's in Japan right now, who's there, and people have lost sight of what it means to send one of your kids to serve. They've lost sight. To them, it's like, yeah, he went overseas. Okay, whatever. He served. No, they actually have signed on the dotted line, and they've raised their hand and have agreed. This is the important part to remember. They have agreed that should it come to that point, I will lay my life down for all of you out there. That's what I will be doing, and it's a momentary thing. And look at the number of people that have. And since all those people have, we never have the right to walk away from our responsibility to them. That's why all this ideas of social, all this stuff is insanity, because all you're doing is you're walking away from all those families. Think of those. The one that touches me the most is that woman who celebrates her anniversary. She lays out a quilt of pictures of her and her husband and all that through their time together, and she lays a quilt down at his site in Arlington, and that's where she has her anniversary at. That's a crushing thing to think that she has to go through that forever now, and that somebody would actually go, yeah, well, the thought that bothers me the most, they go, well, he made his decision. That was a choice he made, so he has to. No, he doesn't have to live with it. All of us.
What's infuriating to me is that kind of stuff, they're like, it's freedom of speech. But if you don't agree with homosexual marriage, or you have some other opinions that they don't like, then they come down upon you. So it's all about freedom of speech as long as they like what you're saying. If they don't, they'll come at you in all sorts of different ways, ruin your life, ruin your job, make your a mockery.
That's the extremism. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's just like a perfect example of that liberal extremism. Once again, I'm not screaming at liberals. I don't do that. I'm talking about liberal extremism, all that just BS that gets pumped out there. A good example of that is how a reporter could walk into a pizza shop and ask a young girl a question behind the counter. If someone wanted to have pizzas delivered to a gay wedding, what do you think? And she's like, well, I'm not into that. It wasn't even an owner. It was just somebody who worked there, and look what happened. It became a national news sensation. Close that place. I mean, for the love of God, if somebody needs to actually perform a wrongdoing, this is what we've gotten to now. You don't even have to perform a wrongdoing. If the thoughts out there that you might have leaned in the wrong direction, that might have been something that offended somebody, we're now, there was that movie out there that had all that precog. What the heck was that called? Where they would,
the pre-crime thing with Cruise.
Tom Cruise one.
Minority Report.
That's what it's like now. It's like now we have pre-problems.
Well, it's even worse than that, John. I mean, I just read an article just the other day about how, if any of you have read Animal Farm, you know that there are some people who are more free than others. Well, they've come out to say that now. Yes, they believe in freedom of speech, but some people's speech is more free than others. And that's on a college campus here in the United States.
Well, yeah, I just saw today. I was actually. I don't watch a lot of Fox, but occasionally I'll get a little quick catch-up on it. And I did see that they had a fellow on there who was like, I'm black, but I wasn't liberal. So they wouldn't let him speak at some campus. It was good enough. He was okay because he was black, but he wasn't liberal. And they're reaching the point now of I've never seen this kind of garbage before, where you can have a black man standing there going, I'm for Cruz, or I'm for Trump, and they're like, oh, well, you're an Uncle Tom then. I mean, they've got a line for everything now.
Just what they did to Herman Cain, and of course the doctor, the surgeon, I can't remember, Ben Carson. They've done those two in the media in the last 8 years or 4 years. Yeah, but I mean, even Herman Cain, they come out of the woodwork digging deep into their past to find any little shred they can. And even if they can't, like with Dr. Ben Carson, they go on something else, they make shit up.
Well, I want to see them get past today's news about Hillary Clinton. they've got the audio of she had defended a rapist who was guilty. She defended this rapist who raped a 12-year-old girl. So not just rapist. Let's rephrase that as to what it really is. A damn pedophile. Okay? So you have a pedophile / rapist. She defended him and got him off with time served. Okay, 10 years later, she is talking to somebody about it, and she's laughing how she got him off. And they have the audio of that. You're about to hear that go crazy, and I hope it gets tons. I put it on my Facebook page last night and said, this needs more airtime. People need to look at this more and more and more. This is who is standing up there saying, I'm the champion for women's rights.
John,
I'm the champion.
John,
Yeah.
people just don't care. You know, I mean, it's sad to say, but this is it just goes to show how controlled the media is, right? They constantly bag on Trump. Now, I'm no fan of Trump, right? I know he's going to be president. I'm a fan of the way he's doing it, very Reagan-esque, you know, and not giving a fuck, right? But the media don't care what the Clintons have done. They're not gonna cover.
And you know what? There's no other way to say it than what you just said. They don't care.
Well,
they do not care at all.
If Trump does go up against Hillary, and I'm
I
not a
don't
big
know if
fan either, but I would
everybody voted for Trump. All the votes Trump's got, millions of votes, and he's actually, I think, broke some record as the highest ever voted. The thing is, that proves that people have been out there caring, but the thing is, they keep spinning it and spinning it.
Well, if he
and
wins,
people are so confused, they don't know what to do.
if he wins,
And if he wins, yeah, if he wins,
I hope he does it right.
at least I know our troops.
I hope he does it right if he wins. And what do I mean by
Yeah, I hope he don't plan.
I hope he does it right is I hope he acknowledges the fact that he's not a politician. Okay, so number one, whether you like it or not, you kind of got to have some, though, over here helping you because you got to deal with politicians. But you also need, your cabinet needs to be very specifically chosen and not off of whether or not you get along with them. I mean, there's a story about Lincoln who could not stand this one particular attorney. He could not stand him, hated the guy, but had him in his cabinet because he was an amazing attorney.
Well, and the Secretary of War, Lincoln couldn't stand the Secretary of War. Could not stand him. But he was the best man for the job.
That's what Trump needs to have as his behavior.
Well, I think he's already setting those precedents. We have to see who he's going to end up picking. I'm pretty sure he's going to pick a Powell for vice president, like you said, because you have to have a politician around.
Yes, you have to.
Right? You have to. And he's, you know what? To me, Trump's gangster.
Yeah,
right? Trump is going to pick
somebody that had a good
Well, I'd keep an eye on Jeff Sessions.
Definitely.
You guys don't think it'd be in Trump's best interest to have a woman or a minority of some sort as a vice president?
Yeah, but they have to be the best for the job. I don't think he's going to ultimately base his decision on, pandering, right? I think he's going to base his decision on who's best for that job. Now, if all things being equal, it's a Hispanic 2-foot-tall woman, he's picking it, right?
Yeah.
But
I hope that's the behavior he exemplifies is that when he makes each one of these decisions, he turns around and he's like, if he picks Ben Carson for nothing else, Ben Carson would be 100 times better as a Surgeon General than the wingnut. And I do mean that with all the disrespect I can muster. The wingnut, who presently is nothing more than a PR guinea pig to see whether or not Obama can pull the strings on the frickin' Surgeon General and just have him go out there and say, well, let's just talk about guns. That's the guy's complete entire agenda is to come around the back door and start figuring out ways to chip away. Let's get the lead stuff taken care of. Oh my God! Now they're making bullets out of something else. Okay, that's
well, look at the
harmful.
bullshit with Social Security. You don't think that they help? That they're all there in some committee trying to figure out ways to
Oh, yeah.
let's screw you from every side of the government. But the reason why even though I'm not a Trump fan, like he's going to pick. If you look at his business practices, he picks the people he thinks are the best for the job to get the job done. And if they fuck it up, he cans them and finds the next one. Right?
Well,
He
I
ain't
just,
got no
I just
problem
hope
with
he
that.
does a good. I believe, in my opinion, this is simply my opinion. I believe far before Advanced Party, far before everything else, there needs to be a think tank. If I was Trump, okay, because I have no political experience, so I can actually compare myself to that. If I was Trump, I would need a think tank. These are not people that I'm putting into cabinet positions. These are people that are going to research and go deep. Because remember now, no matter what, you do not want to have an appointment that was like when Obama was having all those idiots that are going to go, I forget what their positions were going to be. They were going to be liaisons in different countries. Now I can't think of the phrase.
Ambassadors kind of deal.
Ambassadors, yeah, and he had all those ambassadors.
Right, yeah.
People were like, I walked past somebody once who was in politics, and that qualifies you? Yes. Do you know where Kansas is? Isn't that in Canada? I mean, they had these people were like so freaking out of the loop of everything. They didn't even know, they couldn't tell you the type of government there was. I mean, and these were people that he wanted to have go, and they were all the same thing. They were great fundraisers. They were people who had brought in lots of campaign money. That kind of nonsense and foolishness, where you have people that are just idiots. I hope he puts together a think tank where they can go, well, who do you want to have as an appointment? I want to have an appointment as this. Now, I'm being hypothetical if anyone's listening. This is purely hypothetical that I'm using as an example. So say Ben Carson. You want to have Ben Carson in this position, but they find some negativity in his past with regard to that position. Well, then maybe he should be Surgeon General, and they can't find anything wrong with that. So then he's better than that. I think they need to have a think tank to go dig deep and make sure that each selection is going to be well received and appropriate for that particular position. That's what I would do, because I'd want to make sure that you got one shot at this and you don't want to start out. Say again?
Kansas?
True. He said that he was going to.
Well, he's already doing that.
When
So that's the
he
thing,
when he
John.
said whenever he told when he said he was going to let him do what he was doing, he was going to let Carson do what he's best at, and so that's when I figure that's probably the job he's going to get is Surgeon General.
That'd be awesome.
Well, John, and just to hopefully help ease your mind a little bit, that imagining that you're doing, he already is doing, right? You're hoping, he's already doing. That's the way he worked in all his other businesses, right? So, I know a little bit about the reason why I'm not a big Trump fan is because he's a businessman, and I know he's a New York businessman, and so that kind of attitude of vetting everybody, getting the best people for the job, has always been the way his daddy taught him how to do that, right? Who do you got to grease, pay, or whatever to get the job done, right? Who do you got to talk to? Who do you got to? That's why I say he's going to be like a gangster, and a good gangster. His dad taught him right. He learned right in a hard place to learn business. He became who he is today.
Well, you
So
can tell that also because Mexico was like, and now, as soon as the nomination came through, what did Mexico do?
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Sorry about all that talk.
Yeah.
Where do you want us to start the foundation at?
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta start
Spell
watching.
out Trump on our side or your side? Which side do you want Trump on?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, oh yeah, and it's not. And a note for people that are listening to this later on: there's not for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, there's no negativity in my mind of having people from other countries here. Okay, The negativity that's in my mind is it's twofold. Number one, there's a massive slap in the face to everybody who's gone through the process correctly, and literally think of all the stories you've heard. Matter of fact, we've had Fabrizio on the show. All right, we had Jerry, Blue Thunder for some, Lone Patriot 111 for others. He was on last week, and it was a wonderful moment when they were on talking about the pride, the tears that when they raised their hand, all right, and they had finished everything, and they had raised their hand and were sworn in as American citizens. Now, Fabrizio hasn't had his yet, but he's on that track. But Jerry was like, I mean, the pride that was going through him.
In order to do that, they have to know more about our country than most Americans.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, we've mentioned it 1,000 times. Mule, I know you'll just totally jump on this as well. Jerry is more American in the sense that we all dream of that great American than so many freaking people that were born here with the right spoon in their mouth and have all that opportunity, who will lay back, cry, whine, try not to work, try to do that. What can I get a handout? You know, all of those people combined can't equal.
They can't lift Jerry's leprechaun-sized shoe.
No, they cannot. He is.
You know?
It's a joy, and I mean, if you ever get a chance to converse with the man, talking to him, what a frigging joy it is to hear somebody who is like that. And now he's sending one of his boys off to the service because he believes so strongly about America. And it's just, you're just like, wow. I feel pride when I talk to him. I feel pride. It's like, man alive, this guy, I just wish I could make a tape of all of it and make everybody listen to it. This is truly what an American should be.
Well, because he understands, you know. I mean, and there's a lot of people like Jerry out there, not just true immigrants who come here legally.
My wife's mom and dad, they're both immigrants, and they both just got their green card, like, I'd say, what was it, 5 years ago, and they're like so jubilant that they went through all that process. And they fought for years getting their green card, and they had to go through all the strife. And then these people come in; they're not happy about it.
But the key word you just made a really key point right there. They had to fight to become Americans, which meant, and that's a key thing. If you stop for a minute and you analyze that, and you go, these folks had to fight to become Americans, which means there was such a need for them. They were willing to do whatever it took for that to happen. And you compare that now to people that are running across the border. What do they care? What do they care? Does it matter at all? Your parents or your wife's parents, for them, it's such an important thing that they hold it dear and they don't want to damage it, and they want to always do that right thing. Now you compare that to 11 million people that just streamed across the border, and now we have 11 million more people in this country that don't give a rat's behind about it. I mean, think about it. I saw a picture the other day, all right, of boys in the service holding a Mexican flag, going, and it's like, hold on, be proud of who you are. All right, and you can be proud that you're a Mexican. That's fine. You can be proud you come from Mexico. That's great. But while you're wearing an American soldier's uniform, don't disgrace and put down the American flag and say no. This is the flag. Oh, come on, knock it off. What are we going to have next?
No, they're traitorous and they should be kicked the fuck out, right?
I mean, what are we going to have next? People holding up an ISIS flag and screaming freedom of speech. What's going on? This is that extremist line that I was talking about. That's the line that is purely disgusting me, and it's infiltrating everything.
Well, John, it's to me, it's all systemic of the entitlement mentality, right? So I can walk across the border, I don't have to follow any rules, and I can get here and steal a job, get on welfare, whatever, and then expect you to take care of me. And if I have a kid here, well, now you got to take care of them from cradle to grave. you know.
Yeah.
And you see it, but you see it all through every level of society. If you just give things to people easily, don't require anything from them, as a charity, that's nice, right? But as a governmental program, that's horrible, because then all you're doing is making people who are like guppies wanting more.
Well,
You know?
we always want to help people as Americans. We always want those people less fortunate. Unfortunately, we get to that whole giving a man a fish or teaching them how to fish kind of
Mhm.
scenario.
Exactly.
And we want to give fish.
That's a good point too that you brought that up, because there was an old program that I thought was great that I think we need to put right back again, and that is it's a hand up program. Okay, so you're down right now. I understand. In America, we're going to take care of, like Poison Stinger said, we're going to take care of our people that are having a problem, but there needs to be an accountability aspect. I don't think we need to hire all kinds of people to take care of the grounds of the city capitol and take care. Each town has all these different things where they're hiring people. That's what the people who are on these programs should be doing. It should be a welfare to work program. You get
And it
on
used to
that.
be.
Right. I'm saying it needs to come back, though. It needs to come back full force, and it needs to be, okay, so you're down. I understand. You lost your job. I got that. And you need a hand up. A hand up.
Here's
And
a
we're
job.
here. And we're here to do that. Now,
Global.
while you're learning and while you're getting back on your feet, this is the supplemental items that are going to be there for you to help you while you're learning. But this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be reporting to the groundskeeper at the state capitol, blah, blah, blah. If you're within that proximity, whatever you're in, there's an area, no matter what. There's always DOT. There's always, everyone's got that in their cities. But you're going to be reporting there. You're going to be learning how to fix lawnmowers. You're going to be learning how to do small engine. You're going to be doing groundskeeping. You're going to be working in the maintenance department, learning how to change oil on the trucks and the dump trucks that help build the infrastructure. You're going to be learning all these things. And what ends up happening now is you producing people with a skill who weren't getting a handout, but they were getting a hand up. And I know it used to be that way, Mule, but it's not anymore, and it needs to go back. It needs to go back.
agree.
And every town in this country has the ability to do that.
I agree with 1,000%. I see it in children, I see it in adults, I see it all the way across the
Is there
board.
anybody out there?
No new comments right now. Our biggest commenter is now part of the panel.
that happens, John.
Yes, it's always good to have you on.
We do, however, have Morty's in the room and Yankee 4. And Yankee 4 got a new.
Buddy.
Mr. Bobby.
Yeah.
What's up, Bobby? Dude, we've been missing you over on John's show.
And he says that if Kansas says that he'd like a link to. So that's up to you, Kansas.
It's up to you guys.
Hey, Kansas, I got a question for you, buddy.
today.
I got a couple of questions for you, Kansas.
Oh,
First
sure.
of all, are you getting
Oh,
your walking
gee.
done? Are you doing your walking?
Yes, I am. Yes.
All right, because you're looking good, buddy. I gotta tell you, you're
Hey.
looking a lot better than I've seen you in a long time, and this is awesome. And I just want kind of a little update, and I figure everybody can listen, if you don't mind, on how you're doing.
Well,
Because a lot of people don't know that you are up walking and doing stuff.
yes, I actually am. After I came out of the hospital, the last time I died, I said I wasn't going there no more. I came back out. I've been home. They sent me. They had to get me to physical therapy, and through physical therapy now I passed all their stuff. I'm now on my own doing it. I'm up to walking to. It's about a half block and back. I walk if I can't go outside. I walk around the house. I make sure I make the laps if I have to make sure I'm up. I make sure I'm up at least. I'm set up for at least 8 hours a day. I've basically been fighting my head colds, but nothing going to the lungs. Thank golly for that. And I'm trying my best to stay up and fight. Hopefully, I can beat all this. And I've also lost 100 pounds, so and about two.
That's awesome.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good to hear. I like the twinkle in your eye.
Yeah, me too. It's really good to see you again, Kansas. It's good to hear you up and running. And this may be kind of early for Kansas and friends. I'm used to Friday nights at 8 o'clock, but
That's my fault.
that time slot's not taken up.
Yeah,
I got right in there.
Well, Kansas, actually, Friday nights at 8 o'clock
Watch
right
out
now
if
is
I can
taken
get
up.
him in here.
You'd have me if
Friday night at 8 o'clock.
yeah. Well, if you do yours at Friday nights, I'll be screwed because I'm already committed. 8 to 10 Friday nights to fuck with Ibome, and
Yeah.
every chance I get.
well, that's just good clean fun right there.
Well, okay. Well, it's better than I'm here then. So now you get to both worlds. You get to mess with Ibome, and you get to talk to me.
Yeah, and I get to come mess with you earlier in the day. It's nice.
Yeah.
Good times.
It is.
And
It is.
we got John Solar on here today, and that's a good thing too.
Well, I'm very happy to be here. Very, very
I
happy.
decided to give. I told him he had to come be my guinea pig for the day. Let me interview him.
Well, I'm sure you could talk a few hours with John and still not even scratch the surface. This is a very smart man. So those of you that don't know John
I
Solar,
know
well, John also used to
He
have a
is
much
a
bigger
deep
YouTube
man.
channel. And if it wasn't for all the shenanigans YouTube did a couple of years ago, you'd have a lot more access to him. The wealth of knowledge he shared in the past that got deleted from YouTube is a crime.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be doing all that. I've gotten, my science guys have just about had enough of me, so they've been screaming and screaming. So I've got the solar tube training coming back out again, all about solar vacuum tubes and what they are and how they work and all that. I'll be doing that. I got new trainer kits to do videos with. Thank you to Abacus. I appreciate it.
Cool.
They sent out a new training kit for me to use, and I'm going to be building some solar panels from scratch. That's going to be one that I'll be doing here shortly.
I gotta figure out how to get some because I got this oxygen tube that follows me around, and unfortunately, when things go bad, I may not have the oxygen maker.
Well, John's going to do a video on how to make them.
Well,
Well, hey,
there's some small panels.
Well, I'm watching.
There's some small panels, Kansas, that can be had for very little money. Not bad at all.
Gents, I got to go. I got to
Okay,
take my
good.
daughter to work.
Good talking with you, Mule.
Awesome talking to you guys.
Feeling-
Sting, Kansas,
Oh
hit me
man,
up.
it's great
You know
to
that.
meet you, bro.
I'm not around as much as
I'll hit
normal,
you.
but I'm around.
Right.
Later.
I know you're like Poison Stinger. He's hard to find.
Yep. I do that on purpose. I haven't been keeping up with the news in a long time, so I'm pretty uneducated. I know a little bit, but just enough to be dangerous.
After what happened after Ted Cruz dropped out, now is he now nominated, or is Kasich still in? And they're going
No, K6 out now. K6 out now, so there's only the one. There's no telling.
He's the winner then.
There's no telling if they're going to try to play a game or not. No one really knows. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but there is nobody else right now on the Republican ticket, period, except for Trump. Everyone's gone. All right, Kasich dropped out. So are they going to give him the nomination, or are they going to try to play a game? Who knows? But
Well, it said today on the new on the that he was not. I don't know. I've heard in 3 news channels that he's nominee. I've heard, I go on the internet and do the live feed. They're all different. Like CNN says he is, Fox says he is, but the other one says it's to the convention. So I don't know what the difference is.
1 second.
So did anybody say anything, Russ? Any words of wisdom out there? And it's good to see y'all.
Sorry, that was Yankee. He's looking for a link. He wants to come in and say hello.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Bobby.
Mr. Bobby. Poison, you there? Did you freeze on us?
Huh? He might have. Might have froze.
Hanger.
Oh, he's coming back. He's out. He'll come back.
Oh, he's good.
So it's good.
Yeah,
It's good to see you. Good to see you moving around. Good to see you have a smile on your face. That's good.
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, it's a lot of work out here. After I got out of the hospital and my ankle was broken, so if it wasn't for my ankle, I don't think I would have made it. I probably wouldn't be here today. But my ankle was broken, so they had to put me into, after they operated on it and put the new thing in, they operated, and then it took them, they had to put me in a spot, where, so I could heal. And so they put me in a respiratory hospital.
Oh.
And that worked the rest of the pneumonia out that I'd had the last 3 years. It's been killing me. And I mean, they hit me for 21 days with high, I mean, we're talking big old bags of antibiotics every hour or two. And it's like they're changing different antibiotics out. And 1 days, and it was all gone. And I walked in, they said I had a whiteout lung, and they didn't expect me to live 3 days. Well, and you see. And so because I was in there, then I still had to heal my leg, so I had to go to like a old age home called nursing home, and they did physical therapy on me.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And they did physical therapy. Then so I made it home now, and the physical therapy at home has stopped. I passed all their deals, so I'm back to walking now.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's still hard to do because when I get up and walk, at least I can stay up really long.
Yeah,
Short amount of stars, but I can still get up now.
Any of that stuff is going to be. I mean, a lot of people may not understand how difficult it can be when you go through all you've gone through. Just the simple stuff can be milestones. Yeah, so some people might not understand that. Yeah, that some things, when you're trying to learn to get up again, getting up is a milestone. When you're trying to get that strength up to walk.
My left leg is still so weak. I mean, where they did the surgery, because my ankle broke right on top, right between the two bones. So they were totally disconnected. My foot was totally disconnected from my legs.
Hey, Kansas.
together. They put a bar on there, an L bar.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm having connective problems right now, but Yankee 4 wants to send him an invite. I don't think I have him in my contacts. So
let me.
if you know how to do that, then he would be appreciative.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. I think he is.
A moment with tech-savvy Kansas.
Yeah. It's more than a moment. It's going to be 2 minutes. He's got to feed the squirrels.
That's right. Okay, boys, start running. We're going to need more juice.
I remember this.
You know I love it.
Yeah, I know it.
You're supposed to remember. It'll give you more strength to run away.
You know, I got him a rifle. He should be able to be okay. He shouldn't have to run.
And that's a good point.
At least not from me anyway, because I run.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do my first crazy mod vid on a high point.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, my son, we were talking. I was telling my son it's good to have some rifles that are the same caliber as your pistols. It's just a smart thing, and we've had them forever. And I was like, but I really want to get a 9mm. I'd like to get a 9mm. So for Christmas, he bought me the, which is considered, I guess, to be the only really good high point. Is the
the carbine, right?
Yeah, the 9mm carbine. So I'm getting ready to put a new. They have a terrible sight on it. The rear sight is awful. So I'm getting ready to put one of the flip-up sights. That's the handles that go on the AR-15s, one of the carry sights.
Right.
I'm going to be putting one of those
What
on.
is that? Ugly picture just popped up. Oh, there it is again.
Who in the world is that?
I don't know.
Who
It's
is
like
that?
I don't know.
with that goatee. What the hell?
He's probably telling us off right now, but he doesn't realize his mic's muted, so we can't hear him telling us off.
Yeah.
You got a caterpillar
Love
on
you,
here.
Bob. Hello, welcome.
You must unmute the mic.
The mic you must unmute.
He's getting out to yell us. He can yell us without no one hearing.
Yeah, he's getting it all out before he unmutes.
No, I walked outside. What's up, guys?
How you doing? How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Long time no see.
Yeah,
Man.
I've died a few times.
Yeah, I know. That sucks. Sounds like 2015 was a rough year for you, too, there.
Oh, it was a rough year. 8 times total.
Man, brother.
August 29th to 15 to that much. I was in the hospital for dying. I've died or something 8 times total. It was not a fun 15.
I can imagine.
The doctor told my wife the last time the ambulance person told her he didn't think I was coming back, or I wasn't coming back. Then the doctors where I was at told her I wasn't coming back, and I'm back. So now she's mad at me and tells me you just don't. She said I thought I got rid of you already.
It's fine. I tell you what, there's a fine line between, oh, she's just being funny, and she might actually be a little serious.
Sorry about that. I got a fat finger and I hit the power key there
That's
on
all
the
right.
keyboard.
You were back quick enough.
So what's new with everyone? Good to see you around, by the way.
Kansas and Friends back. That's what's in.
Yeah.
It's weird being so early. Neil's right. This is a weird time to be having a Kansas chat.
Yeah, I told him I was available at certain times, and so he picked this time. We could
Russell,
probably.
you. Oh, sorry. I was gonna
No,
say
what?
you're looking good, Russell.
Thank you.
Good to
Trying.
see you too. So can I show you guys what I got today? I'm so excited.
You
I
know?
think John
Go ahead.
Solar already knows, but ta-da!
LC9.
Ooh.
No, it's a Sky X2.
Oh, of course it'd be a Sky. I forgot. You're a Sky guy.
Yeah. Well, for the price I paid, I can't complain.
Well, yeah, definitely. Those things are nice for the cars.
John, do you know about that?
I knew you had problems with your former. Did they work out something with it?
Yes, sir. We could say that.
Well, that's good to hear.
What can we not say?
It was just a friend of a friend sent it to me. Help me replace it, basically.
Like a non-disclosure act?
Yeah. No.
Do I know this friend?
Yes, you know this friend
Okay.
very well. Literally
Friend
just got it like 30 minutes ago before I logged onto the chat.
Well, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's why you're so happy got. He's excited to
No, I'm excited not to be as sick as a dog, to be honest with you, and hang out with you guys.
Yes, it is good not to be ill at any moment. It is good.
I've been doing the ER thing a lot lately myself, so I just came home Tuesday.
Oh, I
So
hate it.
I was intubated for 14 days, or for four days straight. What was that, a week ago? And man, I still got a sore throat from it.
Oh, I
So
know
check it
that
out.
feeling. You don't lose it out of your throat.
Yeah.
I was in for like 8 days. Like
There's what you're.
The last. Huh? Oh, nice.
Can you see him?
That's what Kansas needs over at his
Yeah, I
house.
can see him.
Yeah, that's what. But
Definitely.
you don't. But Kansas, you don't need them big jokers. You can
No.
just install little ones.
Yeah. That's what
I'll
I'm
have to get with you.
doing here soon.
In fact, that's what we're talking on right now. That's how I have power. They're making the power that. Well, I'm on the battery on the laptop, obviously, but the power for my house is running off of that.
Cool. Yeah, I was just interviewing John today. Thought I'd get on here and start up Kansas and Friends. I'm hoping every Thursday about this time will be. Maybe John.
Yeah, that works.
Yes.
That works for me. It's really weird to see Russell again too.
Oh, I know.
He disappeared. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he's having some connectivity issues, I think.
Yes, I am.
It's freaking cold in here today. It's like 71 degrees. It's freezing my ass off.
Like 90 something here, man.
Yeah, it's been like that.
Well, makes me feel great. We got a nice 41 degrees.
Eh.
We're hoping spring will be coming soon.
The thing I miss about living up north like that is the spring and the fall are the best times. Summer gets kind of humid.
Yeah, but you guys, it doesn't
Yeah, I
get
can
as so hot. It gets hot there, but it doesn't get as so wet there, right?
Yeah,
Russell?
it gets. Yeah, there's a difference between dry heat and not a dry heat because air conditioning works in a dry heat. It don't work for me.
Yeah, because we've already been in the 80s and 90s, and it's like 95% humidity. It's like, oh. Yeah, see, look, my plants are already growing.
Russell can't stand my humidity, dear.
Oh, I don't. Oh yeah, when I went
yeah.
to Kansas, oh my goodness, I got out of the car and I was huffing and puffing because all I was breathing was water.
Yeah, I remember when you guys went up there for the shoot for Kansas, and you said when you got out of the car, you were like, you felt like you stepped into an oven.
Yeah, it was hot and humid, and it was off and on raining all day long.
Oh man, it's been cool here. It hasn't even got hot yet.
Yeah, I remember they used to have the sounds odd, but they used to have the death tolls and the hard summer out in Kansas. People were just
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They-
that
they
happens
just-
here.
they just start dropping,
Yep.
and you're like, people are donating fans and all that, but it would get. I remember when I was in Topeka, it would get that muggy, like 102 degrees, muggy, and there's just
You can't breathe. You can't
Yeah.
get anything.
Yeah,
it's just
government
setups.
program. Sorry, we
I
have
remember
government.
when I was about 18, I went out and worked on the highway. It was 115 degrees that day. I remember it was so hot. I was standing out there holding the damn sign.
We have
Oh, pavement.
we have about 2 months where it doesn't get below 115 here.
Ah,
It'll get like 105 here, but it's always humid. Even in the wintertime, it's 80% humidity.
Nope, no thank you.
Yeah, I don't care that much for the crazy humidity.
But
But then again, I didn't
Russ.
think that dry heat was that great either. I mean, I was down in Denton, Texas for, I don't know, 2 weeks, and I mean, holy freaking mother of God, it was hot.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just like, I don't know. I much prefer cold because I can always get warm.
Yeah,
But when it's like 110 degrees, I just can't get cool.
yeah, but the thing is when it's 110, even when it's 90 degrees outside, but it's 100% humidity, you sweat and your sweat just stays on your clothes. It doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't evaporate, so it just doesn't help you cool
Like
off.
all the water just pouring in
Yeah, I just
it.
can't.
You rinse your skin in it. The water.
You look. Have you ever taken your shirt off, Kansas, and it looks like salt? Just somebody poured
Yes.
salt all over it.
Yeah.
When I was in Florida, I was in Naples for about, I don't know, 10 years, and oh my God, in the summertime, they have this snowbird thing they call it, where it's like Florida's just rocking and rolling all winter long. There's just people everywhere, and then it hits 100 degrees, and it's like you turn the lights on and the cockroaches. Everyone scatters back to their home, and it's
yeah,
just
we have a lot of people like that here too.
yeah, and it's just like they're gone. They don't want no part of it. And my first summer there, I found out why. Holy crap! You got to
Yeah,
keep
if I was
it.
rich enough, I would definitely do that.
Yeah, Russell,
because-
my wife's grandfather travel. He lives in Washington State, and during the summer he comes down to you and stays in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona.
What?
Kansas is lagging so bad.
Oh, is it? 'Cause I thought it was just.
I didn't do it.
No, it's Kansas. You're crystal clear.
Which is strange. 'cause
What?
Well, I got my new fancy internet connection finally, so
Right on.
one too many scares on the radio show.
Right, yeah, that's one reason why. Well, that's one of the reasons why I say that's one of the reasons why I don't do shit like that. It's not. It's just an excuse, but I'll take it.
Oh, I had terrible. It was down to below 1 meg for download. And I mean, there were some scary moments on the radio show.
Hmm.
We've had a few. I made a mistake and didn't do the upload for the system modify, and we were right smack in the middle of the show. And it happens every time when you're rocking and rolling.
That was a great show too. It was hot.
We were kicking ass. We have a B-man, which is Eric C., who, he gets in there and he'll find something that'll pull something out. And so he had mentioned a couple of things, and then all of a sudden he hit this one topic, and the place just went live. And I mean, all of a sudden I look up, and it says the show shuts down in 15 seconds.
Yeah, John's like, everybody come back.
For update, I'm like, what the? no! And I mean, I have to go on mic now and tell everybody that the show is about to end in 10 seconds. And then I literally have to fill out the paperwork. I have to get a new signal. I have to get a new web address, everything, get it onto Facebook, get it out to everybody, and do all of this while everyone's waiting for the show to go live again.
Wow.
And then I have to go back and hunt all the guests. So, yeah, internet connection can be a real pain in the ass.
That's one thing nice about where I live. I'm right. Google plant is right down the road from us, so we got really fast internet. So Russell, what's new with you?
Not a whole lot, man. I've been kind of out of the limelight. I haven't even been watching the news. Haven't really been doing anything that you guys would be interested in. Been vaping and learning how to do stuff like that. Looking for work.
Yeah.
Not working out as much as I should, but still trying to eat right. So that's good.
You still
That's
using
good.
that solar cooker of yours?
Yeah, once in a while. It's getting a little too warm outside to do it now. Luckily, it works during the winter too. In fact, I think it does better during the winter.
It does better in the winter. Mine does.
Thing is bad at. The only problem is we live in an apartment, and it's pretty big, so it takes up a good size of the porch when we got it rocking.
Yeah.
But people are always looking at it like, what the hell is that? I'm like, death ray.
Yeah.
Well, yours looks like mine. Just looks like a big satellite laying on the ground. But I've cooked a whole cake and everything in mine.
We had it set up. We were setting it up, actually, and all of a sudden we see a wooden beam smoldering above us, and like, oh, shit. This is powerful. Man, talk about a magnifying glass with some hands.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can do some amazing stuff with those. Amazing. The biggest one I've seen was done by Dan and his wife. Now I'm forgetting the name of their channel. I can't think of it.
Roll off, or whatever.
No, Dan. They were both. She was a model and stuff like that. And,
Yeah, and they had that green channel. I know it's an old
yeah,
channel.
Green Power Science.
Green Power Science. That's it,
But he had one where he built it from a giant satellite dish. I mean, a full-size, old-school satellite dish. And he did each panel, and holy frickin' moly. That thing was like, you just put a 2x4 in front of it, and you just watched it burst in front. It was like,
Yeah, the one we have, I was looking at it, I'm thinking I could do that. All it looks like is chrome sticky tape,
Well, I did a video on how to build them because what happened was a lot of you, the old phrase of "it's not what you want, it's what you want it for" has come true in so many different facets. And the minute people started looking at solar, that was it. They started putting it down as solar tape. But I did a video showing people where solar tape came from originally. It's actually at the auto parts store. And it's the mirror tape you put on the bottom of your truck.
My mom had that same tape, but it was for signs back in the 90s. So
Yeah.
I'd had a lot of experience, and it comes in different colors too, I believe.
Yeah, and I also did one where I took a trash can lid, one of the metal trash can lids. I put some caulking around the handle because it's got obviously two holes that are pressed in there, and then I drilled a 1/8-inch hole in the top. Then I took caulking and put it all the way around the rim, and I set it on top of just one of those cheap Mylar blankets, $3 blanket. Cut out around it, left an inch around it, and then I pulled it tight and taped it all the way around to seal it. And then all you do is you put a piece of tape with back where the hole is, suck all the air out of it, push the tape down, and the whole thing becomes an immediate cooker. And I actually cooked outside with a trash can lid and a Mylar blanket. And it worked. It becomes a parabolic mirror. It works fantastic.
That's cool. We actually have a store near us that's all about a prepping store, isn't it? And they have a whole bunch of different solar cookers. They have the solar oven, the solar fryer. They had a different version I'd never seen before. It was kind of like a Like it almost looked like a reflective thing that you would put a fluorescent tube on, and it would reflect the light, but it didn't have the light. It was just a shell that was fun.
Yeah, those are troughs. Those are called troughs. So what it's doing is whenever you take a flat, let's say you had a flexible mirror, okay, a flat flexible mirror. As you begin to tip the ends up, if you had someone holding a piece of wood above you, as you tip the ends, you vary, okay, what they call the focal point. That's like on your cooker. So much distance is the focal point. So as you're veering that, the focal point is getting closer and closer and closer. And when you make a trough, what happens is it actually focals right in the trough. You can then put a tube in there, all right, that will be on black on the inside that will draw that heat, and you're basically producing a solar cooking tube. And I'll have a piece that slides inside, and you can cook stuff in it and pull it out. It's a trough cooker.
That's pretty interesting stuff.
Wow. Together.
What's Bobby doing?
Jerry rigging something.
Bobby's doing something.
I'm getting my 22. I'm gonna shoot it. See this? I got this 22 quiet stuff. This stuff is the bomb. I want y'all to hear how quiet this stuff is. This is that Calibre.
Oh, only Bobby would hop on the chat and start blowing shit away.
Watch, this shit's cool. Listen how quiet this is, though. Ready? Put the safety on.
That is quiet. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's really quiet.
You ready?
Yeah, it's really quiet.
That was it. Did you hear it?
Yeah, that's quiet.
It's like,
It's like a loud snare.
yeah. Isn't that awesome? That stuff's awesome. It's worthless for squirrel hunting, though. It won't even hurt a squirrel. It just bounces off of them.
Pisses them off, though.
Yeah, it pisses them off, but... All right, let me run this back in because it's like lightly raining. I want it rusty.
The wild child.
Only Bobby. Only on the Kansas.
Yes. Only here can you see one of the people on go run out and grab a rifle and start blowing shit away.
We had a guy from, he was on one of Mule Team's chats. We had a guy from Alaska go out and shoot his gun live on air, which is kind of cool. Those kind of people I really envy, or either envy or hate. One of the envy most likely, but that's the lifelong dream right there. Have a land big enough to shoot on.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be getting out of Maine.
Freedom. That's what it's freedom.
Yeah, Maine. We can't.
I realize
anything that's classed as a town, they won't allow you to shoot.
Here, you just have to be a fourth of a mile away from a road.
Yeah, here they're so freaking weird here. They can't decide if they're liberal or they don't know. Here's the weird thing is they approve us to now have our rights to carry a firearm, which was, I guess, something that the state gave us. I thought we always could, but apparently the state issued those rights to us. So now we can carry them, but it's still, get this though, still illegal to discharge in the city limits, and I mean under any conditions. So you can still save your family's life, but get a ticket for discharging a firearm.
Yeah, they'd have to.
That though, I guess, but it's still bullshit.
You're like, so if the guy breaks in the house, and I shoot him, I'm okay. They go, yes, but you're going to get a ticket. Why?
So you can give a police officer a ticket every time they discharge a firearm?
Oh no, they're above law.
Oh.
Actually, I would sue the criminal that I shot or his family or something for the money. That's just me.
That's exactly right. Yeah, there you go, Russ.
Well, yeah, you forced me to do this. I think you owe me the $145 fine.
Right.
He took the gun from me and fired it. I'm sorry, I couldn't stop him.
Well, just so you guys know, the way I was pointing over that's 2,000 acres of nothingness back there.
There you go. You're defending yourself. No need to defend yourself.
Yeah, from the rabid schools.
Don't defend yourself.
But anyways, I was just telling you that's the way I shoot all the time. But isn't those things cool? They're like, it's just pop, pop.
But what do you do with them if they don't kill a squirrel?
Can't even kill a squirrel, man.
What, are you shooting daisies or what?
Yeah, they don't even actually.
It's not survival ammo,
Got
that's
a
for sure.
dandelion problem, and when it goes past the
Kill
dandelion,
that. Dandelion.
I don't know if you can see that, but it wouldn't even put a dent in this starter fluid can.
So you were shooting starter fluid cans.
Yeah,
That's always cool.
Yeah.
Tell me you had a lighter by it.
I had a flare attached to it.
Okay. I wanted to make sure you were being dangerous because that's important.
That's how I caught the grass on fire. So I don't have any grass anymore.
There you go.
well, it beats mowing.
Yep. Hey, that's the part about living in the country that rocks. I don't give a fuck. Excuse my language. Crap. You don't have to
Yes.
deal with it.
I can't wait for the day I'm out of here.
You guys want to meet my new chickens?
Okay.
I gotta go I'll show you my new chickens. They're cute.
While you're doing that, Super Santy is here.
How do?
Santi,
Dr. Dave, Mr. Tommy Boy 9 still hanging out.
Mr.
Yeah,
Tom.
Now, Tommy Boy 9, I remember that name. Hold on here, I'm trying.
That's
Didn't we all help get him a
yeah,
pistol?
helped them to get a pistol. Well, we
There you
tried.
go. There
And
you
then
go.
40s is here as well. Don't want to leave 40s out.
I can't see what I'm showing you, so they're all in there. Right now, they're having to be trained to be in their
It looks like a
coop.
piece of wood.
Oh, come on. This is not easy.
There's still a piece of wood.
There they are.
Oh, there they are.
Hey, girls.
What are you doing with a bunch of pullets?
These are dinner. No,
Don't climb in there with him, or we're gonna have to start making jokes. I'm just warning you.
If an egg can fit in there.
What is that noise?
That was an alert alarm for me.
Oh,
You
that's
told
a
me
John.
want to know where you are.
No.
Back up.
I'm usually hunting him down. Poor guy. We get off the show. I'm like, who's the next guest? I'm working on that. He never goes 24 hours before I'm pounding on him. I need to know.
He's got enough shit going on, and then he's got the shoot that he's dealing with.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big to-do.
You know, it is.
Here, that's right.
Are you going, Russ, to the shoot this year, or are you gonna stay?
No, man, I don't think so. I every year I want to go, but either money or other shit comes up.
Yeah, I hear you.
This year I'll probably be going
Here's
to
my chicken right here. Biggest chicken in the West.
There you go.
No,
All you have to do is stomp on stomp. She goes,
honestly, we have all the chickens that roam around out here, and I just got tired. You know, I go get chickens from Craigslist all the time when people don't want them, and I chunk them out here, and they just roam. But I got tired of not having eggs and being Easter every day.
So let me ask you a question.
So we decided to start.
I know how you do pumpkin chunking, but how do you do chicken chunking? You said you chunk them out there. I'm just curious. Are you like,
That's how you do it. You grab them out of the truck and you throw them in the yard.
okay? I thought maybe it was like a new sport, you know?
No, you get these
Chicken
big rubber
chunking.
bands. You ever seen those big rubber bands for water balloons? And you pull them back.
Oh, so it's like Angry Birds.
Yeah,
There
Angry
you go.
Birds.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. All right.
It makes a
It's
big
like
flap.
it'd be like the start of a whole new thing, chicken
Oh my
chunking.
God. Now my wife would kill me if I messed with those, did something to those chickens. She thinks those are her babies.
Well, you're going to have to make sure you get some that look a lot alike. That way, when it comes time,
That's what I said.
you know, she'll
What's
be
gonna
like,
happen when we send them to freezer camp? She's gonna cry.
make sure when you make sure when you harvest them, you get like a little name tag, you know, Henrietta, and you can put it around.
It's been horrible. I mean, she's literally. John knows my wife, so he understands. But she has been so they were 2 days old when we got them, and she has every day at least had them in her hands, held them for 45 minutes to an hour each bird. You know, it's like, come on, they're chickens.
She trying to tenderize it for dinner or what?
I don't know, man. It's crazy. Well, I mean, these are just laying chickens. They're not eating chickens. Probably wouldn't eat them anyways.
Chicken, they get old, man. When they get old, they get to be eating chickens.
That's what. Well, I'm fixing to get 5 adults from. You guys know Pop's Quest, Rob?
Of course I do.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of tired of his chickens because it's just he's got a lot going on in his life right now. And he called me the other day. He's like, Bobby, come get these chickens from me. He said, I can't. I need a break from them. So I'm gonna go pick up his birds.
I'd take him out on that property and let him go and be able to have,
Yeah,
fresh,
but that's
fresh
3 hours.
chickens
3
when
hours.
he wants one.
Yeah, but it's 3 hours drive basically.
No, but I would just throw some out there. That way, when you're out there, you don't have to worry about remembering to get meat. There's always fresh meat
There's always
right there.
Yeah, that's not wrong. But
So you just cruise in and go, okay, guys, what do you want to have? What do you think? Chicken?
chicken. But his kids are so attached to these chickens that I had to promise him that we wouldn't eat them. He's like, you can't eat them. I'm like, well, what's
Just
going on?
get some little tags and hang it around their necks. No eat.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, how am I supposed to mark them? He's like, I don't know, but you got to promise me you can't eat them. I was like, I can put zip ties on their feet.
I can promise you anything you want to hear.
Until one comes along that looks just like it.
That's right. Depending on how hungry I am, right?
He tripped and fell, and fell.
No, I mean, we have them running around out here. It's just, there's probably 16 dozen of them, if not more.
Holy crap. Yeah, you need to eat a couple.
Need more chicken chugging.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch any of my videos, almost every one of them, there's chickens in it. But, I mean, we're on 17, 18 acres. This spot that I'm on is 17 acres.
So it starts with chicken chunking and ends with chicken choking?
Yep, that's exactly right. But you gotta leave the hand just right.
I wanted to make sure I had that down.
And the chicken chunker works better if it's frozen.
Oh, okay.
And you use compressed air.
At least on Kansas and Friends, can you get into a chicken check?
Chicken choking. Sponsors.
That's right.
John had chickens for a while. John
You're
can tell
going
you.
to choke your chicken.
They're fun.
No choking chicken.
Oh, I enjoyed my chickens, but the city,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
they had a whole new thought.
My wife, she's crazy.
I hadn't bought the right to have them at 25.
Hey, if people can have pet pigs in their house and consider it a pet, I should be able to have a pet chicken.
Yep.
We had 6. They wanted $25 a piece. I'm like, who in your right freaking mind would pay the city $25 to own a $5 chicken?
Yeah.
I mean,
Back in the old days, they actually told people you should have 2 chickens per person living in your household. You'll have eggs for days. You will never need to buy eggs. But now, if you're not buying the city's chicken, then they're out money. And
yeah. My city right here, boy, they've gone insane. I loved the property at first because I border a small brook. And it takes my whole property line. It goes around both sides of my property line. And at first it was a wonderful thing. And then they decided that, well, due to water quality stuff, we're going to take possession of 75 feet on either side.
Why are you like go run from here?
And they now have 75 feet. I have to pay for that, and I have to mow it and take care of it, but they have control of that 75 feet. So they're actually like in control in my living room.
wow.
That's crazy.
It's like I got to have a permit I went down once and asked them, just to be a smart ass, because I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
But I went down and asked them if I needed a permit to paint the living room. Do I need a permit since I'm within 75 feet of your water?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I get charged for my solar. If I produce more solar than I tell them every month on the little record thing, then I get charged a percentage of that money.
Then you just go off the freaking grid.
Yeah, that's because you can't have you got. That's a good thing. There's that living lie, that twist, because here we have the liberal extremists about coal and this and that, and we got to invest in new energy sources. And the minute you do, they're like, oh well, you're not working with the system here. You're
Yeah.
fine.
It's ridiculous. Well, and I would go off the grid, Russ, but an inverter to run my house would cost so much money I couldn't afford to do it.
Well, shit, just look at electric cars, though. Now that people have full electric cars, we can't have them riding our roads without having them pay tax.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have to put a GPS unit in your vehicle to know how many miles you drove, so we know how much to tax you.
That's right.
My little sister. Yeah.
The whole thing, all of that stuff is just a big BS lie.
If we would revolt, it would change. But instead, there's too many in the, as he says, as Mule calls them, what is it called? The group that, but basically they want everything. If it wasn't for the factor that there's too many of them, we wouldn't be able to do much on our own.
Well, we've also got, and I mean, this is kind of a touchy subject, but we've also got a lot of phonies, and there's a lot of phonies even in and amongst all of us. There's a lot of people that just don't. They say stuff, and it's for likes. Yeah, they'll post something for likes or whatever, but they're not real. They're not going to stand up and say anything, because that would be rocking the boat.
Don't worry about rocking the boat.
No, I've never really given a damn.
I'm freezing my ass off. I'm getting in the car.
I was only quiet and calm while my son was going through his background checks. After that, it was all bets off.
After that, fuck it.
Yeah, I got the, you're going to be calm, right? You're going to be mellow. You're going to not do anything, right? No, I'll be calm and mellow.
You're not going to screw this up for me, Dad.
And as soon as he went, okay, I'm good, I went, that's it, all bets off. then the picture of Obama sucking the Statue of Liberty went back up. I put it all back up there. There we go.
Hey, just so you know, Poison, Stinger has been a good girl still. I only had one issue with her my whole time, and it was Thanksgiving Day. The damn trigger pins walked itself out and jammed the trigger up. So now I got a set of those K&S pins and fixed it.
K&S pins are nice though, man. You like those?
Yeah, she's been an awesome rifle, dude.
Hopefully we're going
I meant solar from.
What was that, Kansas?
I didn't hear him.
I meant solar for Mayor over there on the side. I spelled it wrong. She's OP. I can't spell no more.
They wouldn't like me for mayor, because I would be like, okay, we're going to deal with stuff on a logical standpoint. That'd be it. People get up, start walking out of the room.
I would probably go fully
Mayor. That'd be the best situation. Then you could have chickens.
Oh, they would not like me. I'd be like, you know what? Just let the chickens go. Let them roam.
Like, you know what? Your safety is your own damn concern. Don't call us. Unless you need us to come clean it up.
Right. You come and take care of the mess afterwards. Hey,
they have I think it's in Florida. I think they have a whole chicken issue in a portion of Florida. I think it's Florida. They actually have, the city has a chicken patrol, if you can imagine that. And all they do is go out and grab people's chickens that are not encaged.
What a freaking job that must be.
Oh,
well, there was a chicken. There was chicken. There was a woman in Florida that went off grid that lived in town. She had all her stuff taken care of off grid in town, and she got in trouble. She actually got prison, I think.
No, she didn't get prison, but
because she didn't. But they made her go on grid or whatever.
Right.
They wrote it international something home.
They wanted the big issue was to do with her. It wasn't to do with her sewage, but that's what they went for. They went after her for that, and they were like, you haven't passed different zoning regulations. This isn't zoned for that. Did you get a permit? Did you buy your rights? Since you haven't purchased them, you don't really have them. They were just like
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember that. They went kind of wackadoo.
The whole land thing has gotten out of control. I mean, that was like one of the founding fathers' big thing is if you own land, it's your land. Do what you want on it. But we're not going to fuck with you on your land unless we got a really good reason, like you shot somebody.
Well,
But
and that's, yeah,
do whatever-
you,
Well,
as long as
Kansas sort of got a bite of somebody. They had this one. I don't know if you know how Kansas is a little town of about, I'd say probably 300 people, okay?
what
All
town?
together. And anyway, everybody used to tease this woman because she was, they called her every name in the book. Her husband left her, that she kid, they did all kinds of mean stuff. They never treated her right. She had to go in my brother's old cafe and sit in the back room because they'd call her names if she was in there eating. So anyway, one day her son was killed. The surgeon made a mistake, and so she got $5.8 million. Now all these nice people that used to treat her so badly, all of a sudden wanted to talk to her,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she'd still go
Yeah,
in.
money made her.
She went and sat in the back of the room, but she fixed all of their deals. She made a big. She bought a big old fence, put around her acreage that she owned there in town, and then left town.
You got a message from Fuzz T Fork 8. Says Kansas, I'm here.
Fuzzy Fork.
Hi, Fuzzy. Thank you, Phil.
Did you
About
catch
the Trilateral Commission. I am enjoying the talk.
Fuzzy Fork?
I am
said-
enjoying those papers.
Did you catch Obama's new executive order on martial law, maybe for August of this year? That's what Fuzzy Fork is saying.
Yeah, I heard something about that. I'm not sure that he's going to put it into effect, but if he does, there's not much we can do, and it's because that was the end of it. He got it, that pretty well nullified everything else. Of course, people can fight it in court, but it'll be 6 months before a Congress can walk back in.
The country, I don't think there's any one man, I don't think there's any one party that can fix all the crap that has gone on for the past 150 years or so. I mean, we've gotten to a point of no return with what the founding fathers, envisioned for our country at the start.
Yes, indeed. That's so true.
I don't see going back to that without a big to-do. And even then,
Well,
best case scenario, I think the only, we're not ever going to get the whole country back. We might get a couple states, and maybe they get on board and make their own union, but then we got to go through all that whole, Civil War kind of crap again, probably.
Well, I mean, look at they it's Utah, right? That they own. Is it 98%?
Mm-hmm.
98% of Utah is. That's it. Utah is basically a government state.
They signed away so many rights just to become a state. They had to start saying, well, we don't believe in polygamy anymore, which, that's a big to-do in that state right now.
yeah, well, now it's okay to do it. I mean, heck, they promote, pedophiles and all that stuff. It's not right what they do.
I don't know. As long as everybody's of age, I don't give a shit. You want to have 15 wives, as long as they're all over 18 and they're all okay with it, I have no fucking problem with it. But, definitely if there's, underage shit going on, for sure. But, I don't know. I'm more of a live and let live kind of guy for the most part when it comes to that stuff. Same thing with gays. I don't mind gay people getting married. Go ahead and get married. Call it marriage. I don't care. But, you're not going to tell me that I can't think that it's wrong morally,
And that's the part that's also gotten weird about that. I mean, I've worked around so many folks. I've never even had. I don't have any problem. It doesn't matter. It's not, I don't. I guess it's more of a I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's now become this weird shove it in your face thing. In other words, if you're going to get married, if you're going to get married and you're
Obama's-
gay, you need to go to
Yeah.
some place that doesn't, believe in that. That's the only place you can get married. You got to shove it down their throat. And this new thing I've just noticed it recently. I was talking to my wife about it. I said it was so weird. Is now this handshake thing where people just walk up and they go, "Hey, how you doing, Russell? I'm good. Hey, how are you? Good. I'm gay." It's like what? Whoa. And imagine if you did that in reverse to everybody. You just walk you walk up and you go, "Hey, how you doing, Bill? Good. I'm doing great. Hey, I'm John. I'm straight."
I'm fully heterosexual.
Right. You can just imagine they'd be like, "Oh, that pisses me off. That offends me."
I love the pussy.
That's right. It's just gone crazy now. It's just freaking wackadoo.
Well, it's gotten to a point that I understand that it's looking a little hopeless on whether we'll ever go back, but it's the morale, the people's morale that's got so out of hand. But Obama put so many such a way that he cuts people out short. It's sort of like, okay, you got your nymphomaniacs. He puts he cuts everybody into cliques, sort of like we used to do in school.
Yeah, he's the wedge. He's the wedge that separates this nation.
You know what's funny though is if you ever study Rome's fall, you'll notice that we're similar because they used to when Rome was at its height, there was a lot of freedom. You had a lot of freedom being in Rome if you weren't a slave.
Yeah.
But as Roman citizens, they had a lot of freedom to do whatever they want. But as Rome started to fall, their freedoms were going away, but their morale freedom was expanded. So all of a sudden, it was okay for homosexuals. It was okay to sleep with underage people, and that was fine. It was just that you couldn't, own your own land, but we'll give you all this other stuff. And it's kind of the same way now where we're getting a lot more of our sexual freedom in America, but we're losing a lot of our personal freedom.
Well, and they're also playing these unique games where the spin and the twist can get a hold of some people's mind and make them agree, such as this individual was born a male but always identified with being a female. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. Well, he wants to become a female. I don't care. So he became a female.
Why?
Okay, I don't care. So now he wants to go into the bathroom. Whatever. But now what we do is with these situations is we open these little doors where the people that want to take advantage, and this is where it gets lost in the translation, is here we know we have a huge problem in this country with pedophiles. All right, so you get a pedophile who really wants to be near those kids. All he's got to do now is go, "Oh, well, you know what? I identify with being a woman. So why don't you step out of the way, and I'm going to go into the woman's bathroom."
Well, they're also getting on the bandwagon of homosexuals, saying that they were born to have that attraction, and therefore they should have a right to do it because they had no control on how they were born.
It's all just getting, I don't know. Whatever happened to not having all? Here you got Obama saying that racism, this and that. When he's the one that's putting everybody in this. Whatever happened to just Americans? We have Americans. That's it.
Right.
You're an American. I'm not going to identify you as, well, he's a black American. And the African American thing, I'm going to get ready to piss off. I don't know how many people I'm going to piss off when I say this, but please understand what I'm saying, okay? African American, okay, here we go, can be a racist term just on its basis. Now, before you start putting hate in here, let me explain what I'm talking about, all right? If you're a German American, that means you came from Germany and you became an American. It's not a race, all right? It's not a color of skin, all right? Mm-hmm. Can you be an African American and be white? Yes, you can. Absolutely. All right. There's a guy on YouTube whose wife he's very famous. His name is Casey Neistat. His wife is from Cape Town, South America. All right. The girl when she becomes a U.S. citizen, she'll be an African American. Okay, it has nothing to do with the color of skin
Right.
at all. But I mean, so in other words, are they going to start allowing everybody to have that same right? I mean, are they going to call me a German Irish American? You know, I mean, am I going to be doing that? But when you look at the paperwork now, you have all those different genres.
We're the only country that does that. If you go to
Right.
Canada, England, or whatever, they don't call them African Englands
No,
or African Canadians.
no, they don't. But look at the new paperwork that's coming out from the government now. Though when you look at stuff, it's hilarious to me because it's like Asian American, African American, German American, blah 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 blah. And then it says white.
White. Yeah.
So wait a minute.
White old America.
So we've reversed it now to where you're going to judge me on the color of my skin.
Yeah.
So all we've done is we've just flipped it over.
Well,
We've literally flipped.
there's two things, John. One, and you already know this. If they can keep us divided like that, we can't stay together and become one and take care of the true problems like the government and that kind of thing. So they make problems by doing that.
Right. He's the wedge.
That's right. That wedge is the problem. And then one other thing real quick, Kansas. It might help if you take that little camera and turn your video, since your video quality is so good now with your new computer and camera and all, it might be that it's so good it's causing you lag. You might want to turn the quality down a little bit and see if that doesn't help. You know what I'm talking about? In the chat itself, how you can click on the camera and tell it to go into the settings.
And absolutely right, Mindy Patriot Angel. He has screwed this place up beyond human belief. I mean, we're back 60 years now. Think about it. They don't want to talk about the fact that there's violence at a convention. I mean, come on, what kind of crap is that? There's a guy running for president and I don't like him. Okay, awesome. You have the right not to like him, but I'm going to assemble a group of people. That's fine. You have the right to that. Okay, we're going to stop ambulances in the street and try to cause bodily harm to people and smash things and burn them and light them up. Wait a minute now. That's completely wrong. And why don't you see people doing something? You're watching them. They're staying back. The cops have got such a bad rap now. They're staying back. It's like you're allowing this to happen. If we were to take to the streets at a Hillary Clinton place,
we would be burned at the stakes.
It would be absolutely. So what he's done is he's driven this wedge by perpetuating all these different scenarios. I mean, the Caitlyn Jenner thing, he had to be. You know, he was on his little carpet going, "Thank you, Allah. This is amazing," because that just gave him fodder to just have a blast. I mean, I heard today that I can't imagine it. There's going to be a naked pictorial of Jenner. I'm like, wait. I mean, are we taking this like way too far? Just be you. If you want to be Caitlyn Jenner, fine. Be Caitlyn Jenner. But I don't.
I mean, it's like they want to make a big deal out of stuff, and it's not even worth it. Anybody to do it. It's don't play the game.
No, we're getting back to. We're going way back in time. We're approaching that whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing. It's like we're there right now, and it's like the more that we can get the people to behave this way, or if you can just get it out and shove it down. Look at the commercials nowadays. This will probably piss a lot of people off, but look at the commercials nowadays. They've now gone to the point where every single commercial has to have all the groups. Why can't you just make a commercial?
Yeah.
Why can't you just make a commercial?
Show has a gay person in it.
But I mean, and I don't care about that. But why do you have to shove it down my throat and make sure I identify with it?
Yeah,
that's the part. I mean, I don't care. I like watching Modern Family. That's a cool little show.
The
but I
PC
mean,
stuff is just ridiculous.
Right? They've gone to the point where
it's way, way beyond and beyond over.
They've gone to this point now where it's like, okay, there's a gay person in the show. I don't care. Okay, did you know there was a gay person there? I don't care. Okay, we need to make sure you understand there was a gay person there.
And there was at least one black person. There was at least one Hispanic, and it's ridiculous. My wife is half Hispanic. She doesn't care. She's
Why
like,
can't it just be a show? Let's just watch the show. Why can't we just be Americans? Why can't we just have a show? There's guys, there's girls, there's people that had a change, whatever. I don't give a crap or whatever. Why can't we just be the people that live here in this country instead? There's now here's a guy that says, I don't like the fact that people are being set aside in groups. Who is the #1 person in this country who's like, okay, we need to get some groups set up here. You need to be the gay and lesbian group. You've got the straight group, but the straight group breaks up into, crazy conservative people. I mean, and we're being punished now for our political beliefs.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord, whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to?
Look at our vets. We're being punished for them.
Don't even get me started on that.
Dude, I can't get the damn help that I'm supposed to get, and I literally stood in line for 14 hours, or I'm sorry, for 4 hours yesterday at the VA, and they wouldn't give me any help.
You're not going to.
There's nothing. They told me I wasn't scheduled for an appointment. They don't have time for extra appointments, and they don't have the time to do that. And I was like, all I need is you to sign this paper so I can get my fucking Nexium.
Yeah, there's 25 bureaucratic.
Oh no, we have to go through A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and go fuck the goat in the butthole. And I'm like, come on, man, I just need my Nexium. That's it. No, we can't do that. I can buy the shit over the counter. Well, then why don't you do that? Well, it's $25 that way, and I can get it with my insurance for $3. You know.
Oh yeah, that's been going on for a while, and you get the famous speech. I'm going to dig into this and find out. Okay, it's been 6.5 years. How's the digging going? Well, I'm getting ready to buy a shovel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always they're always getting ready to investigate. We're going to get ready to investigate.
That's what Russell had a video about that. Wasn't that you, Russell? Let's get into the investigation.
Yeah, they're getting ready to. It's always they're about to start, or you know what, we're going to take this seriously. It's going to definitely be brought to the forefront. We just brought it to the forefront. Okay, mission accomplished.
Now, well, let's just forget about it and move on.
Yeah.
I brought it to the forefront.
Or the opposite happens, the exact opposite. They make a big deal out of it, and it becomes so much problems that you can't get the help. Like, where before food stamps was relatively easy to get the help, now it's easier to get the help, and now there is no money available because everybody and their fucking mother is on it when they don't deserve it, or don't even really need it. They're just so before where it was a bitch to get on it, but once you got on it, you proved that you really needed it through all those steps. Now it's everybody and their mother gets it, and there's only a little bit there available for the people that truly need it.
Well, it's not. It's being misused now. It's the social programs. It's just.
Well, I got told personally that I should be on food stamps for a minimum of a year and a half before I decide that I no longer need them, even if I was in the ability of taking care of myself at the time and I didn't need that help anymore. I should just continue to accept the free help from them. They told me that because it's easier to do this than if you cancel, then you got to go. It's like, wait a minute, I'm getting better. I'm bettering myself. I'm getting off of this program, and then I've gotten sick, and my wife lost job and all that, and now I need your help again. But you're punishing me for doing the right thing by getting away from it when I don't need it.
Because it's no longer a hand up. We were talking about that earlier. It's
exactly
a hand up.
Yeah,
there's no more. Okay, this program's designed to give you a hand while you're getting yourself situated, while you're getting ready to go, and then I'm off. Right. It's not like that anymore. Now the program is like, we got 11 million people out here, pal, that have never been in America, and they all need it first because they're like they're #1, and all it really is it's buying votes. There's a lot of ways you can look at it. They're trying to help. No, they're not. What they're doing is they let them run across the border. And then they went voters, and now to make sure everything goes well, give them what they want.
Mm-hmm. Just like Russ was saying at one point. Russ was talking about it. It's actually harder to get away from the whole cycle of getting the assistance from the government than it is to get it initially started now. And the problem is like I got away from it because I didn't need it for a time period when we were doing better. My wife was working, you know, we were doing better. I didn't need it. And now that when we need it, we've gone back on it, and they're like, wait a minute, you didn't need this, so you took yourself off of it. You should have just stayed on it the whole time, even though that wasn't the right thing. You know what I mean? I was like, what the hell?
Piece of info for you. My wife just told me that they just announced there was a Russian hacker who has hacked Gmail, Yahoo, and a couple other ones. So make sure everybody changes your passwords. Apparently,
You're
selling them.
wonderful.
Yep. So make sure you change your passwords out there, folks listening, because you don't want to find a bunch of Russian propaganda on your site.
I don't know. At least Putin, I can give Putin some credit. You know, he's a ballsy leader.
He is. At least he does what he says he's going to do.
He has a spine. I mean, I don't agree with any of his politics, but boy, that you know, when I don't know. I'll shut up.
No, I agree, Russ. At least
You're doing what I do.
he's got a set of nuts.
You're gonna say it, and just say it.
What you're going to say. Don't be afraid to say it.
If we're gonna have a president that's gonna ruin the country, at least Putin does it with style and his shirt off.
There you go.
On a horse?
That's
On a horse.
I mean, I'm 100% with you. He does. I don't agree with one damn thing the guy does, but he does get out there and he does frickin'. I mean, look at us. Look at us now. He's like, I'm taking Crimea. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not.
I am.
Yes, I am. And of all the bullshit in the whole wide world, the guy went and did it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we stood right there. I mean, look at our famous line in the sand. You know, that's that's another laughable one right there. You do it, I swear. I got a line in the sand. It's like, yeah, and then he backs up and draws another one, and then backs up 10 more feet and draws another one. Yeah, it would
be refreshing to have a leader that actually does what he says. Even if I don't agree with politics, I can totally support somebody on the other side as long as they were doing what they thought was best for the country and did what they said.
But I mean, even in the hard part for people to realize is leaders are going to be wrong. They're going to be wrong. They're going to do. I can guarantee it. Trump's going to make mistakes. But as long as the guy's got a rally of people around him, help get the freaking thing fixed. Unlike Obama, who stands there and goes, "Do you think I really would have told you could keep your doctor if I didn't believe it? Do you really think I'd have told you that? I'm not lying. I was uninformed." And you're like, you're the president of the goddamn United States. You expect me to believe?
Should be the most informed person on the planet.
You expect me to believe that you went out in the hallway and went, "Are you serious, people? Nobody told me." I mean,
exactly.
All you did was prove to me that not only one, are you a freaking idiot, number two, you're freaking disconnected, number three, I'm really beginning to believe golf is your life. And you may want to get your head out of the fucking, MSNBC asshole and take a look at the actual briefing. There's an entire team trying to brief you. If you get your news as the president off MSNBC, oh man, you are one frickin' wingnut.
By the way, can anybody see the outside chat? I can't see it on the laptop.
They're completely stalling really bad.
What you vaping, Russ?
Blooper.
Cool. I quit dipping. It's been over a year now. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'll bet your wife is so thrilled not to find those special Mountain Dew bottles.
Well, John got me in total so much shit for that.
Late at night, all the lights are off. You go to get a drink.
Oh, dude. that would be one of those. You're in the truck. I'll let you know when you're back out. Do not come in. You're in the truck. And there's where you stay.
John got me in so much trouble with that shit. My wife and him were on the chat. They were working on his computer. And I had said, "Oh, by the way, I had quit dipping or something." And John's like, "I've been telling you to quit for years, Bobby," or something like that. And she's like, "See? I told you. Even your friends hated that shit."
Well, it doesn't bother me. And I mean, I in the service I did it because.
Yeah, that's where I started too.
Right. I mean, they would pass out Levi Garrett, and they'd be like, it's real simple. You can chew this, or
Or
we can shoot you now because you light a cigarette in the field and you just lit up
yeah,
an
we couldn't
entire.
smoke on the ship.
Right. So I mean, yeah, you learned a little bit there. I hated it then, but the one thing I hated most of anything was I had some friends, and I mean, it was like they always had a soda bottle, and I mean, so I knew this one guy that carried a 2-liter. I'm like, dude, do you really? No, I mean, I don't care. Chew. I don't care. But isn't there some other way other than an unlabeled, big 2-liter soda bottle half filled with your chunk that I got to stare at? And he would go, yeah, well, I don't like I'm with you, man. I really am with you. But if I carry the ashtray around with me in my hand, and it's a great big giant ashtray full of fucking butts, I'm with you, because then I'm being a fucking pig. But you gotta put that bottle in.
Yeah, Mel used to. She said, "I'm gonna get a Pepsi bottle," because she would drink Pepsi occasionally, and she's like, "Just use a Pepsi bottle. At least it can disguise it." And I was like, "That's a bad idea. You might think it's gonna be Pepsi or something."
That's what I was
saying.
saying.
She made that mistake. She made that mistake at like 4 in the morning and threw up all over me, on the bed, everything. And then not only did I get my ass chewed, I got threw up on, I got hit, and I had to take care of all of that while she went and slept on the couch.
And guess what?
And it was totally my fault. I had to do it.
You got away easy.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what?
If that had been me, it would have been a pillow and a blanket in the back of the truck.
No, she went on the couch, and I had to do
No,
it.
that'd have been for you. It'd have been, that's where you are right there. I will let you know when it ends.
Mine would have been a pillow and a blanket and wherever you end up.
But you know, the funny part about it was the only reason I really quit, well, my wife wanted me to quit. That was part of it. But I told her, I said, when I'm ready, I'll quit. But the biggest thing for me was I was tired of spending $3 a week on that shit. I know that sounds funny, but that's money that I could be putting towards reloading.
It doesn't sound funny. I quit smoking.
So,
I vape now, and it went from a fortune to, I don't even vape that much even. I vape like when I'm on chats or whatever, but I probably spend, I think, $15 a month now.
Yeah, see.
I don't spend a whole bunch on vaping, but I spend more. I spend almost as much as I did on smoking. But I enjoy vaping, right? I enjoy the flavor. I enjoy it.
There's a guy who just started making stuff available. I know it's $55 for the half gallon of the half gallon of the VG and a half gallon of the PG unflavored. It's and then it's $20 for whatever the flavor is you want, and you get like this 8-ounce bottle of the flavor, whatever. Like I have a menthol flavor that I buy the plain and I put the menthol in to make it the way I want it. But I think the total was like $65, $70, and it's a gallon when you're done.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've looked into doing that. I haven't gotten that far, but I do my own rebuildable atomizers and stuff. I've got alien wires, very pretty builds that I like to put together. Here's one of them I was sharing. This is what's called an alien wire. There's 3 wires inside of that wrapped with a D-cord.
Is that what you posted on Facebook, Russ?
Yeah, probably. I've been doing this build a lot lately.
No, you posted some picture of some rap you did, just for fun. You said.
I did a bigger version that you can't vape on because it's so big, but because it's so hard to see that.
That's what you posted on Facebook. You were like, just for fun. You just recently did it. Yep. Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering why you twisted all those wires.
I put this next to a nickel because my mom was like, "That's humongous. How could you vape that? It looks like it would be on the table." I'm like, "Mom, the coil's as big as not even as big as a nickel." And
right.
That's awesome.
Actually, a lot bigger.
This has been such a wonderful chat.
That's something else that's gone through the roof. I mean, I was doing when you go to some of these places to grab something from vaping. I know I was talking to one of the guys that had it was like $25 for 15 milliliters, and I'm looking at him going, wait a minute, that's like over $3,000 a gallon. When did vaping become more than fueling your car?
Yeah, there's a lot of places they call it premium juice, and they're all, it's got the best of this and the best of that. It's juice. It does the same thing. stuff that I get cheap. I get a 120 ml bottle for $10.
Yeah.
Local place. They sell online too if you're interested. But $10 in there, they got a menu as big as you want, and they can do it in whatever nicotine level you want. A lot of these places that have the premiums, it's like 12, 6, 3, and 0. And if you don't want a 3, if a 3 is too much, you're going to have to buy a 0 and a 3 and then mix them to make a 1.5. These guys will actually mix whatever nicotine.
Well, when I went on and did some research, I found out that there is, vegetable glycerin, and then there is a food grade. And there's a food grade. All right. There is no grades of the food grade. There's a food grade. It's vegetable glycerin. And these people that are saying all this, well, this is they're not making that. They're buying a bulk vegetable glycerin. So they're buying these two products and then putting a flavor in it, and they're the ones that are declaring that it's premium.
Well, there are different versions of nicotine of where they get it from, because you're not just getting nicotine from tobacco. You can get it out of a lot of vegetables. And
that I don't know about. I just wanted to know about. I wanted to learn about the VG and the PG and what is this stuff, what makes it this way. And what I found out is there's only one grade of that of vegetable glycerin. There's a food grade. And of that food grade, there's no different grades in it. There's just one. It's a food grade vegetable glycerin, and it's sold in like 50-gallon drums. And
actually, when I looked into making my own juice, I went to a cake supply store, the place where bakers go to get all their cake supplies. They have the extracts for the flavor. They have the VG. I don't know what they use the VG for, but you can everything but the nicotine you can get at a local cake.
Oh yeah, but it's not $3,000 a gallon.
No.
What's VG, guys? What is VG?
Vegetable glycerin.
Oh, vegetables. And did you say that there was vegetables that have nicotine in it?
Yeah, like tomatoes. If you the skin in tomatoes have a minute amount of nicotine in them that you can extract.
I did not know that.
Nicotine is actually found in a lot of plant life. It's just that the concentration levels are different, and in tobacco, it's a much higher concentration level.
Oh, is it? I mean, I used to work in a tobacco field. I mean, we used to get. That's probably where I got my nicotine addiction from, walking through the tobacco field. I mean, it would rub against your skin all the time.
I just wanted to be cool at the time.
I think that's the number one thing that starts it.
Well, yeah, I started smoking then, but then when we went into the Navy, I was in the Coast Guard, but in the Coast Guard you couldn't smoke on board because of the fuels. So there was designated smoking plugs.
That's one thing I've been doing that you asked what I've been doing lately. That's one thing I've been doing. It's a lot of advocation for vaping, because we talk about all these rights with chickens on your land and stuff. They're doing the same thing with vaping, because here in Arizona, and I know a lot of other states, the government has already spent all the money they planned to get from the tobacco tax in the state on whatever they spent it on, and they need that money to pay back what they've already spent. And all of a sudden, people are getting into vaping, and now they're having a panic attack. You got big tobacco losing a ton of money, and they're got all these people in power saying how it's the same stuff that's in antifreeze, and it's got formaldehyde in it. All these studies that supposedly come out that are totally bullshit, but people just read the study real quick and they're like, "Oh, I'm an expert at this. I know, it's got to be more harmful than cigarettes."
We have an unknown smoke law here in Maine now. Yeah. All of it's treated exactly the same. They have parts of Maine that's illegal to smoke in public.
That's how it is here. There's places in Charleston you can't smoke in public at all.
That's right.
Unless it's in a designated square block, and it's like those bus stops that are glass. It's one of those, so people are smoking in this tiny little confined box. It's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
The hypocrisy is mind-boggling, right? The hypocrisy of it, because they want to come down on vaping so freaking hard, but at the same time they're saying smoking is bad. However, vaping has made a lot of people quit smoking, me including, my wife. I know a ton of people who used it to get off the cigarettes, and now they're coming down on them You know, what do you want?
Tax money from it, Russ.
Yeah, you're not getting tax money. That's basically what it
Yeah,
is.
you gotta make it the villainize it, and I mean, like here in Maine, like I was saying, they're like, well, it's vaping, it's a water vapor, you know, and they're like, well, we don't know, and we haven't got enough studies on it, so from hereby, it's to be treated as if it's a non-known smoke. So they passed a non-known smoke addendum to the smoking in public, which means anything you blow out of your mouth, if it's smoke, it was just like you were lighting a cigarette. They don't care. Illegal.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid laws, not only here in America, but there's other countries too. The TPD is going through Europe right now. Forget what that actually stands for, tobacco something, but man, there's so many governments out there are really coming down on it. There's a few like Switzerland that is promoting it because they actually care about their citizens and want them to quit smoking. But
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just like you were saying, Russ. I don't know nothing about it, but when I heard about, like, my brother started vaping to get off of smoking, and I was like, dude, that's a bad idea. I heard that there's all kinds of shit in it. And he's like, did you just look at one of those things on Facebook or something like that? I was like, yeah, I did, actually. He's like, okay, if I did that with firearms, you would be pissed off. Go do a little bit more research and then come back to me. And then I was like, oh, there's something bad in there.
I always tell people, do you ever not allow your kids on Halloween to go near the house that has the fog machine? You know, ooh, that fog machine's... No, you let your kid go near the fog machine. It's cool, play in the fog. That fog machine is fog and vegetable glycerin, the same thing I'm vaping.
Yep, that's what my brother said that almost... Dude, that's hilarious. My brother almost said word for word what you just said.
Right? And vegetable glycerin is on more than just cakes. It's on a lot of food products out there. And at worst, I have vegetable glycerin, I have a very small amount of nicotine, and some flavor extract. Those are the 3 ingredients in my vape. Can you list all the ingredients in tobacco cigarettes? Because I can.
Not a chance. Oh, yeah, it's just, if you got to vilify it, because then when you vilify it, you can get people to go, yeah, we need government intervention. Thank you. Now let's all line up and get our tax stamps.
Exactly. Hey, well, guys, I tell you what, I'm getting a little tired.
Oh, no. Okay.
I don't have the strength to keep up like I used to.
Not a problem. It was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
It's good to see you.
Anytime we get on
One of the
the vape,
best chats ever in a long time. And thank you, John, for coming. I
Yeah,
really
but-
appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
I'll have to check out the show. I haven't checked it out yet. I'll have to do
Bobby, you're welcome. We'll see you all next Thursday. Same time, same place.
that. Same bad channel.
See
Yeah!
Hey,
See y'all later.
All right.
don't run off when you go unlive for a second. Russ, chill for a second.
John was like, I'm out.
John bounced.
He was like, bye. Enough of this hoity-toity crap. I'm out of here.
John's a really good friend, man. He's a good cat. Did you tell it to go? Is it unlive or is it still live?
Live. I had on in the comments of a couple